everyone. Welcome back. Yay. To episode 170
Hey,
of Stormfall. 4+ years, right? Yeah, we hit that in
Yeah,
August, right? Wasn't it?
mid September.
September. Okay. Thanks. Anyway, I'm so nostalgic after reading through like old stuff and like rediscovering lost gems. Uh but anyway, enough of that. We're here. This pivotal moment. I don't want to detract. I've already held you up so long, everyone. I'm so sorry. um, in this, well, our heroes having reached the point in time where they need to confront Ythaz head on directly, have found themselves assembling the Stormfall coalition. After traveling to the city removed from time and Aidenset, they've assembled all their compatriots from across the entire campaign up to this point. They called on everyone that had an ear to listen, and we wrapped up last session with the general vibe being everyone's there, everyone that they called upon is ready to assist. They get how incredibly dangerous this situation is. We wrapped up with Mort walking around this sort of boardroom, conference room table with everyone sitting down, walking across in front of the huge double French doors that go out to a balcony with the sun frozen in time behind him, and gesturing to everyone, we need to stop Ythaz before he becomes any more powerful. He'll be too powerful to manage, and we need to take action. So with that momentous speech from Mortimer, we'll jump into the meeting at Aidenset here to kind of suss out, see who the crew wants to send where, and then start tackling some things. And so I will I'll pass it over to Mort, I think. As you just kind of wrapped up we need to make this happen, and I'll let you take it away. If you want to just sit down at the table, that's fine too, no pressure.
well, it seems we need multiple actions across multiple fronts. I think
Mhm.
uh, a lot of things have to be done. We need to find out exactly where Ythaz's Titan is, how far away, how long will it be till it gets to Gascony. We, I'm sure he has. I mean, Gascony has fallen, right?
Mhm.
Title of a book.
Nice.
Um, so we have to. I guess we're just speaking out loud. I'm not, saying this is, oh, that we have to maybe try to lift the siege of Gascony. That will complicate things for Ythaz. And Savoy is Savoy under attack but not fallen?
Correct. There's a rebellion there, or at least an uprising of the citizens that live there. Oh, well, I think Sterling Sam would probably, reply, "Oh, right. That's still standing. Last I understood, it was under siege, but not with most of the forces are still holding Gascony. They're just sending some of their lesser undead out to Savoy, and the city's managed to form a group of citizens, a militia, to build up some defenses in their open sections of their outer wall, and hold most of the undead at bay." You know what? I think the Runekeeper would probably say at this time. Sorry to NBC jump here. Um, sit up in the tall chair and scan the room. As we are all members of the Stormfall Coalition, I share this knowledge and confidence that this does not leave this room. Certainly, this is the time to share this information. But should we be victorious, it remains here. In the city of Savoy, there is a mage circle. Very few know of it. Fewer still have the sequence to it. It resides in the Arcanum de Maitre. You'll probably remember that was the finest wizarding school in Calais. So of course, no, Rowan, that's Emil. So you would probably remember your friend Cyrus talking about that because he was talking about Savoy. Its secrecy is important. Those of you that are aware of the comings and goings of Savoy are certain unsavory and or dangerous artifacts that make their way through the city. Those that assist me in the city make sure that they don't find their way into the wrong hands, but instead safely in my vault. By means of circle, keep it quiet. But I will share this sequence if anyone's target is Gascony, should make a 2 or 3 hour walk or ride the void to Gascony. And it settles back in.
Okay. Also, any and all knowledge of potential location of Ithaz's phylactery, which we have reason to believe is somewhere in Gascony, but we don't know exactly where. All this will be for naught if we can't get to the phylactery.
Hmm.
I guess it's funny. I don't have locate object, but
Well, I highly doubt locate object would work on a phylactery anyways, because that's just a very, phylacteries are one of the most heavily guarded things in the multiverse. He's not just gonna leave it laying around for anyone to be like, ping. It's going to be difficult to find.
I think Emil would speak up and ask Tara if anyone at the university or affiliated with the universities might have some insight into Gascony. And of course, when Emil is asking this, he also means the Harpers, but he's not saying the Harpers.
Right. Nice. Okay. And while my brain just completely removed the important bit of what was it about Gascony that just any important information to get in and get out, or
well, we're on the subject of the phylactery and where it might be hidden and where a reasonable safe hold for it might be, and I figured this is a good time to ask whoever we brought in from universities and drop a hint to the Harpers.
Nice. Well, that's an interesting question, Emil. I'll have to consider that. I have a few people I can ask at least. There's a vault or two there. That's well, plenty of vaults there. A lot of wealthy people with expensive objects. So, but there's a few that are very well guarded and put some failures out.
Do we have anybody from the Wizards College of Eferon? Because we could also. I just don't remember. I'm looking through the list.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we don't. Okay.
You can reach out to Roger. Gosh, yeah, who would be left from there?
I had thought we had named the two who helped us with Delorna. I don't remember their names though, and maybe that's why I'm not seeing them.
The two old people, right?
Yeah.
Who are super funny. We love them.
Awesome.
Thinking, oh god, I have to but we'll contact them. We'll find out who
a scarlet little,
Thank you.
Oh, of course. Well, I can talk to them. They're fun. They're fun to talk to anyway. Is there of course they're really good with rituals in particular. Was there they might know places to hide that sort of thing? Or do you need them to look up anything with rituals? What would you like me to? What messages would you like me to pass along? That could be a good helper.
Probably a place where the phylactery is going to be hidden, and the best way to permanently destroy it. If that
requires a ritual,
be a ritual or a combination of spells or whatnot. The best way to go about doing that to make sure that he doesn't come back.
Okay. I can do that.
Because I don't know about you, but I don't know how to destroy a phylactery.
Yeah, that doesn't sound easy, does it? Especially with Ythas.
Has anyone seen the phylactery?
Let me do a quick check on something. Okay, nothing for now. Carry on.
Yeah, I don't.
I think some people have seen a skull at one point, but I don't think that's what we're looking for.
Gosh, Kaylin, do you recall anything about the skull? Any details to it?
Is the skull the phylactery?
I don't think Emil would know. I don't think Warren knows.
She didn't. I'm pretty sure, Dan, that I'm remembering she didn't see any. She never saw the phylactery during her time as Ythas, or Ythas was her, right? I'm pretty sure she didn't see anything.
I mean, and you don't remember anything being pointed out?
Nothing that was pointed out as the phylactery. Yeah. I mean, there was the skull, but I don't know. I was never privy to what the phylactery was while I was there.
I think Emil will ask about the skull because it was stolen during the attack on the Runekeeper. And Emil, just not being that knowledgeable in the arcane, will just say, is there any significance to the skull having been stolen back by Ythas at one point? Is it something that if we've seen, we could maybe track and the phylactery could be nearby?
I mean, I've definitely seen it. I don't...
Yeah. Emil looks at Armia. Yeah, a few of us have. Unfortunately, the people at the Wizards College of Eferon haven't seen it because that would have been a really good ritual for them to try, I suppose.
Can I do an Arcana check? I mean, for more to know that, I mean, a phylactery doesn't have to be a body part per se. It could be any object, right, that they perform a ritual on and put their soul in, basically.
That's true. And while Dan's thinking, I'm going to mention the most powerful Arcana user we know who's seen the skull, if we think the skull is important, is probably the Runekeeper.
Yes.
He's doing some rolls. And you did not do well on the first one, but it's also me looking something up.
I'll help the runekeeper, give him advantage.
Nice, nice. You look like you're thinking about something, Rudy. Oh, awesome.
Misplace your car keys. Did you look on the counter?
Or Mia will use minor illusion to make the image of the skull. Because it was that, from what I recall, from years and years ago, it was gold and encrusted with jewels, right? It had jewels in the eye sockets.
It had it had a jewel, it had rubies, I think, in the eye sockets. Yes.
Yeah, so Ormia will make the image of it and say, this. Is this what we think the phylactery is? Is that possible at all?
It's the skull. Yeah.
I mean, that's what started this whole mess to begin with.
I mean, it seems it's been pretty important this entire time, it seems. It went missing from the runekeeper, and it seems like it just kind of, and then there was the whole runes thing. And it looks at Ormia.
Just kind of like sit back.
So it definitely was powerful, and the creature that we took it from, I mean, definitely wasn't happy for it to be gone.
Kaylin, can you roll a D100 for me, please?
Sure can, DM.
A very good sign.
29.
Okay. And all right. Roll a history check now, if you would. Please and thank you.
You just have to beat a 29.
That is a 18.
Okay. Did everyone roll, by the way, for the DM inspiration for tonight?
Nope.
If not, it might be a good time to.
Wait, why do you say that, Dan? Why are you
Sometimes I
saying
like to just, give.
Just put it out there in the universe.
Yep.
Gotcha.
All right, what do we have? 1034,
Yep.
so Mort, and then
Already beat.
Aaron.
Not surprised.
That's just a win. Unless anyone's rolling in like D&D Beyond, let me know what you got.
Oh, you beat me.
Can we roll for like Ormia and Emil too?
Nice. No, unfortunately not. Yeah. And
I was
Oren
worth asking.
and
They're all player characters.
Runekeeper. Everyone needs to roll, Dan.
Nice.
Well, I mean, like they're actually player characters, so that's why I was asking.
Okay.
Oh,
do you have any other form of boost that you want to use, Kaylin? This might be a good time to do so.
Well, I have my 30 month subscriber die. What is that now?
2d8.
Is it 2d8?
For DD6.
Nice.
Okay.
That sound amazing.
That's a +9, so that's a 27.
Who got the DM inspiration?
Currently it's Aaron Wynn. I think there's two other people that need to roll.
Roll am I? How many?
Just Rain.
100 D20s.
And Garrick.
Here comes another contestant.
Agreed.
Oh, Garrick's in the lead by 7. Nice. Just let me know what you get when you get it, Rain.
Okay.
You get a 27 is enough. 27 is enough. On the edge of your memory, almost as though it was like willfully locked out as best as possible. You know, there's a couple fuzzy spots with your previous rolls to recover things. You've mostly remembered all that occurred, but you have a flashback. There's this storm, and there's these. You're at sea. The waves are high, and they're pounding against stone that juts out of the sea, and it starts coming back to you. This is that ritual to get the blood from the well. That previously exploded section of the world that affected multiple continents and a bunch of the ocean. And you recall the skull being part of the ritual. So Yathaz, inhabiting your body, had with him his previous skull. The 2 ruby gems stuck in the eyes. And you recall the devastating toll. Of course, you've long since remembered how weakened he was after that, going to Black Rock and all that ensued because of that. He was so weak he could have been overtaken by citizens. Which is why he had Brewer do what he did. Well, that's because he effectively died there, but the death blow was transferred to one of the gems in the eyes, which shattered and was lost. But it seems strange to you that, I mean, you have that recollection of, you know, not that's a phylactery, but like that's my backup. You had that feeling of that's you know.
Right.
So
right.
you're pretty confident that was a phylactery, but if that was broken, there's another gem in the skull. And I guess now that you're sort of reliving this, make a quick perception check.
Stealing a phylactery.
That is 21.
Okay. Is Kalen of the Phylactery is a Patreon exclusive we'll talk about after.
Oh no. No.
I mean, I kind of was just referencing Harry Potter, but damn.
It's a funny story with it. With a 21, no. You recall this now kind of vividly. You're replaying in your head. That's right. Storm, lightning striking, you know, Yathaz in this body, and as he's struck, and it dances across the metal straps that hold on that across the top of this sealed well. One of these eyes shatters the gem.
It's all very cinematic.
Oh, he drops down to, you know, you do to your knees and on one elbow, and you're looking up at the skull to investigate. Did both break? Is, you know, what kind of level of danger am I in? It's a feeling that you recall. And you see the one eye shattered, and a bit of relief as you look at the other eye, and down at a gap in the row of teeth that are affixed still to the skull by magic. A missing tooth. You seem comforted by the missing tooth and the other intact eye.
So I'm comforted that the other eye is still there, but also that the tooth is gone.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
Interesting.
That thinking of a tooth, a very shocking image returns to your mind. An item that was being passed from Yathaz to the Baron. A tooth.
What? I thought it was a key. Oh no, that's right. I couldn't remember.
Yeah,
I can. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I thought we were done with the Baron.
The Baron's not done with you, you know.
Oh man.
Can we spam Danitz in the chat?
Yeah, please. Please.
Nice.
Is that all, Dan?
Yeah. No, do you want
Okay,
more?
I just wanted to make sure before I reacted. Is Kaylin?
Just kidding. Yeah. Yep, that's it. All comes crashing back.
Who did a save Ray in the chat? Get out of here. Get out of here.
Kaylin gets an anime flashback.
Yeah. You'll definitely see kind of a very dark expression pass over Kaylin. And then probably ending with one of just like frustration since the effing Baron is involved. She'll like, I'm imagining us like around a table, so she'll like kind of like put her hand on the table. I think I just remembered something that I didn't before. Yeah, I think that the skull is, I think maybe the phylactery or maybe part of it. You remember the two ruby eyes? She'll ask like the ones who were there with the original group.
Or Mia will create the illusion of the skull again and put it like in the middle of the table where everyone can see it.
One of those, Yethaz had this when I think when we were doing the ritual at the well. One of the eyes, something happened to Yethaz, me, whatever. One of the eyes is gone now. It gave him life again, kind of resurrected him of sorts. Kind of like I don't know. It kind of took the damage, I guess, from whatever it was that was, from the exertion that he put out during the whole thing. So one of the rubies is gone.
Or Mia will make one of them vanish, so it's just like an empty socket.
Nice.
Like this?
So yeah. So one of them is still there though. So I think technically we can be sure that, and Yethaz was keeping the skull with him. So it's definitely it or important. But it still has one ruby, so we need to keep that in mind because, and she'll kind of look around at everyone. I think it will definitely take damage for him. I don't know how much, or I guess the exertion almost killed him pretty much. So just have to keep that in mind. But the tooth, there's a tooth missing in the teeth.
Or Mia will make one of the teeth vanish in the illusion.
That's amazing.
Yethaz was very comforted, I guess, that the tooth was gone. I remember that. And the tooth, I think I remember him giving it to the Baron.
Meal will look at Winifred Delka and say, "Mistress?"
She scowls a bit at the thought.
Out of character, the Baron is Emil's vampiric scion, and Winifred Delka is the Baron's vampiric scion.
Yes. Dun, dun, dun. Soak it in, viewers.
Layers upon layers, connections we didn't even know were there. It's a web of lies.
Nice.
Did you know anything about this, Winifred?
Well, I was aware that he was working with Ythaz.
We all were.
Mm.
Yeah.
It says a little bit bitterly.
You can see she has also like a bad taste in her mouth at the words. I might be able to find his location. Tracking him is not the problem. Him staying in one place long enough to be found. But I'll do what I can to discover his location.
That would be helpful, thank you.
Hmm.
Because I think maybe the tooth could be the phylactery.
Hmm.
And the skull was just a place, like a sheath for it.
Is it possible, or Mia will say, sitting forward, is it possible that he could have had 3 phylacteries, the 2 eyes and the tooth, and so long as one survives, he survives?
Runekeeper kind of nods at that.
Is that possible to have 3 phylacteries for one lich?
Dan, can Ormia make a roll for that, because she was kind of on that path?
Yeah, go for it. History check if you would.
History. Oh my gosh, I don't have a character sheet for Ormia, but we're gonna.
Ah, I take a peek. I think she's driven well from.
Yeah, from like level. Okay.
I like that he acted surprised that you didn't have a character sheet for Armia.
I mean,
it's in the other fantasy grounds, the old fantasy grounds.
No, I have. Hang on, wait for it.
Mm-hmm. Oh, the paper.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is, ow. It's from like level 5.
Nice.
Hang on, I got like.
How fast can you level a D&D character?
Nice.
Okay, this is when I wish I had a search function. Someone play background Jeopardy noises.
Is that copyrighted?
Baby.
It's gonna be the last one, isn't it?
They mute us. They mute us.
Okay. Okay, most recent. A history check.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from level 6 stats, Dan, which I'm assuming she's not level 6 anymore. But that's a 14. No, a 15.
Okay. Is she proficient? Because you'd have the.
She is proficient in history.
You can add the difference in whatever proficiency would be now if she was, the same level as the other characters.
So 18.
Mm-hmm. We're 17? Are we 17? No, we're 18.
Or 8. Yeah, no, sorry. The total is 18.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. As far as you've heard, it's typically 1 phylactery. But the Runekeeper knows this stuff inside and out, so he's picking up what you're laying down. Yes, well, it's not unheard of. It doesn't happen frequently. A demi-lich powerful Ythaz could certainly create a second, or perhaps even a third phylactery. Certainly had the time, power. Time is the enemy of that ritual. Centuries craft mold. It does sound, I'll look over at Erwin, as though Perhaps the other gem and tooth are in fact two separate phylacteries. At the
So we
very,
need to just sorry, go ahead.
at the very least, we should recover the both.
Well, I think the skull might still be with Thaz. I think maybe that's what's in Gascony, unless the Baron's there, which I can imagine him staying there with the unrest. So
Well, it is under their.
When was the last time we had any interaction with the Baron as a
Tegredov.
party?
it was
That far
when.
away.
Well, I mean, that was. It wasn't even him, right? It was just
An illusion.
an
Well,
illusion.
yeah.
But
that he
it still was an illusion of him.
had set up. Yes. Yeah.
Mortal Ashley, look at. You think it's enough for a scry?
Possibly. Wow, I can words. Possibly. He's notoriously difficult to scry.
To prescribe, what is it do you need? Just someone who's seen him?
We just want to know where he is right now.
Well,
We've all
didn't Winifred just say he's easy to find? It's just hard to pin him down because he keeps moving.
Right.
She can probably track him through bloodlines somehow, I'm guessing. So
Interesting.
Councilperson Shuffletrot will just jump in and say, yeah. Oops. Where are my ears? I can I think I'll definitely ask. I put it in chat, by the way. Their names. Janshai and Faye, and see how to break these down, especially if there's two. Like, I'll make sure I include that information because that might make it different or difficult, maybe easier.
Technically, there was 30, so it's
Right,
two of
right.
the 30.
Okay, right.
We just don't have to worry about the third one, but it may make a difference.
Okay, yeah.
There's 2 left.
All right. Right. Okay. Well, I'll do that. I'll make sure that I let them know, and we'll get on top of that so we have that information when when the time is good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Will be.
Good morning.
Well, okay. While this was talking about the Baron, he's going to be like thumbing through the other book he found when we disrupted the ritual to free Kalen, which has some certain spells in it that he has access to, and he will put a dog ear on gate.
Nice.
If we find out his precise, it has to be precise location, I can bring him to us.
Oh, that's possible?
It's a 9th level spell. It's very costly. But, and he doesn't even, he doesn't even get a saving throw. If we have the location right, he just gets pulled over. What we have to know. Does, DM question, does it have to be a different plane or can it be the same plane? Because the gate spell says on a different plane. You conjure a portal linking unoccupied space you see within range of location. Yeah, he has to be on a different plane of existence.
Are we on a different plane right now?
We are right now.
We're not on the materials, so he is.
Right. And I guess we can maybe try to make accommodations that if we find out his location, we can go, and if he's on the same plane as us, we can go to a different plane and then summon him.
Okay.
But it's a 9th level spell, and it's
That's
5,000
really handy.
Come on, Mort. 9th level spell's your middle name.
I only get one a day.
Is it really your middle name?
And for player question, Player question: how many days do we have until Yathaz reaches Gascony?
Right, I think so. Sterling Sam would have covered that. I think let's see, it was
It was like 32, right?
nice. That's awesome. I think it was 5 days for the entire trip, and it was already 2 days in. So I think it's 3 days in. So you have about 2 days.
Good Lord.
Are you sure? I recall a 6 being in there somewhere.
Oh,
Like, genuinely. I
oh.
feel it was 6. But
Mm,
that could be me entirely misremembering.
gotcha. We'll say that they've adjusted their estimates based on current speed.
I've heard that before.
Yeah. Nice.
All right.
And the plan. So once Winifred, we just have to wait for Winifred to pin him down.
If we can. That's one of the things we can be doing while we're doing other things. We really need to free up Savoy so we could use that as the launching point for all our other actions. But I'll just ask the table all around. What do you think if we can get Savoy opened up, and then I'll ask the Titan, Orin. Orin, how could you delay Yathaz's Titan? Titan on Titan battle, yeah.
Kaiju battle,
Nice, yeah.
kaiju battle, kaiju battle.
Let's see.
Would you be willing?
Orin kind of, has that loud grumbling of stone that grinding together, boulders grinding, but in your mind, makes sense. And says, I and my sons do what we can.
That would be, time is of the essence, and the more time we can obtain for ourselves gives us more time to find things.
We will slow it as best we can.
Yeah, I'd look around the table. I don't see any other.
I mean, if you're able to, Aaron Reynolds, if you're able to, knock the tower off its head, that would be fantastic. I don't know if it's possible, but aim for the head. It's just kind of
nice. Here's some more. It's still an acknowledgement. You see Sterling Sam sort of flipping what looks like a coin through her fingers. And it's closer inspection if you wanted to look anyway. It's a sending stone. Right. There's some new information. Now, I don't know if this will help your studying folks there. She looks over at Councilperson Shufflecrot. Or otherwise, this is probably one for the magic folks. But I've had some people studying after the creature as it moves across Calais, and found that of course it's leaving these giant footprints and such in its wake. It's not earth gliding, it's proper walking. In case that helps, and looks out, at Orin. But some of the wizardly folks have looking after it. There's people of different professions examining it in their own right to figure out all that they can, geologists and the like. But some of the wizards just let me know that apparently, on a level that's impossible to see with just the naked eye, the footprints that are left behind by the creature contain a repeated pattern, just smaller even than you can see. that forms the whole shape of the footprint left behind. Over and over again in tiny, the pattern is just in tiny draconic lettering. It says Tlushtal. Shivers. Does anyone speak Draconic? Aaron?
Aaron and Devanya.
I might.
Lavanya. Oh, nice. Okay.
I speak a lot of languages.
Awesome. I'll give you a second.
The
check it
Rune
out.
Keeper, Aaron's mom.
Yeah. They'll
Draconic
translate it back.
Is not one of them. I speak Abyssal, Celestial, Gnomish, Infernal, Orc, Undercommon, but not Draconic.
Okay. Nice.
You speak everything that I don't.
There we go.
Nice.
Perfect there.
Yes. We are the ultimate study buddies.
There you go.
So again, on a microscopic level, the imprint left behind just from this thing walking and touching the earth leaves imprinted in the earth all this the same saying again and again and again, Tlushtal, which is Draconic for beginning.
That bundle of 4-letter words?
What does it mean?
Oh, hell if I know, but I don't like that thing is beginning anything, or I don't know if it's from the beginning or if it's beginning something right now, or I mean, there's a lot to do with that information. I'm sure it's not good. I mean, I thought it was a clump of stone, but if it's leaving behind that just where it steps, that makes it a bit, well, makes me a bit more nervous.
Yeah.
Definitely magic, it would seem.
Probably the Titan's blood.
So my guess is that because he's kind of full of himself, Aaron says, standing up and kind of pacing behind her chair, he's full of himself, and this is the beginning of a new era. So he's just announcing his presence literally in the earth.
Does anything about that remind Kaylin of anything that I've already heard, Dan, that you remember?
No, it doesn't seem to.
Okay.
Why is it
All
in
right.
Draconic and not in like Primordial or something?
Runekeeper.
Aaron is going to pull out her notes and turn to the section on the time frame spell that the time bubble that we pulled Mort out of, and she's going to start looking and seeing if there's any connection to something like that.
Okay. All right.
So she's not paying attention at all to anything right now. She is just notes.
Okay.
Looking for those runes. Wishing she had a search function.
Find in text. Yeah.
Help.
Did it have something to do with Tegradoth? With the dragonborn that lived there?
The Runekeeper leans forward. Draconic is the most ancient language. Said to be created by the gods for the people of the it could just be that it stems from such a great power.
Sure.
From him using the well.
No, there has to be symbolism. There has to be something. What is it?
Nice. Sterling Sam will lean forward. All right, so I'd like to I think we have some parts of action. Do we know where everyone's going and what everyone can be put to best use? If we have 2 days, some of us can zap over there to Savoy, whoever's going head on. But for everyone else, it might take some time to teleport and travel and such, or make the necessary arrangements in order to get wizards to teleport us where we need to go and such. Time's ticking.
Yeah. Should we have? I mean, we have Oren and his sons going to delay the giant. Should we have anyone else? Anyone to scout the giant? They can maybe get there a little bit faster.
Look at the list here. Ira. I can get over there pretty quick. I can fly around and zap out of this plane if I have to. I can only do it once a day. Yeah, leave and come back once a day. So, yes, that'll give me 2 attempts. I have to bamf off plane. I can.
That'd be extremely helpful.
All right.
I think.
Go ahead. What?
Step 1 is get Ornan and his sons on the way to buy us some time. Maybe make our base of operations, as risky as it sounds, Savoy, just so we're there.
Who are we going to brings up? We need to send troops to Savoy
to help fortify there. Yeah, agreed.
Which means we need heavy hitters, and Erin will kind of glance over at her mom.
I think I guess Sterling Sam might just chime in. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to jump in too much. But I think
Dan, you're playing 17 people to our 6. Okay, it's okay. You're 3/4 of the scene here.
Awesome.
We understand.
All right, good. Well, I think right. We should certainly have Ira scout. And Winifred and your daughters, I believe, are gonna use what you can to figure out where the barn is.
Yeah.
But Savoy sounds like a wonderful place for the main force for huge kind of gestures around the table at, like, you all. I think, and this is just my 2 cents, but I'm just gonna look at Emil too. That our bigger forces, and I think that we're going to need to make a dent in Gascony if that's where this is. If Yathaz makes it there, do we want to be trying to cut through conquered Gascony with all Yathaz's forces safeguarding it and keeping us out while they just open the path for Yathaz? Or do we want to start chipping away at what's happened in Gascony, chipping away at the forces there? Perhaps with some of the heavy hitters that can just take some spots out at a time. I know it's a grand city, but the sooner we can start chipping away at whatever undead are there, perhaps the better. Setting all you up for Savoy to gather information and just be a few hours away, maybe we can even clear a path. Make that like a priority, just to clear a path for a lot of you to. We can figure out exactly where beneath Gascony this thing is, if we know where Yathaz is heading.
Yeah. Once we get the Titans on their way, then we gotta do a 2-pronged approach. Get Savoy and we have to get away into Gascony.
We have to get the Titans moving now. They need to go now, I think.
Are you getting Keeper to him now? Runekeeper will go out to the balcony and seem to speak to them pathically. And they start returning from whence they came here. They earth glide off into the distance to take their secret portal out of here. So I'm gonna. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Mark, please.
I was just thinking to myself, well, that's key that they can earth glide and Ythaz can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's do. Sterling Sam just says, let's just go around and tell people where, to figure out where everyone should go. I suppose. To kind of look first is Kylos, Riddlemacher from Blackrock Landing. Looks like a kid, but he's not. So there's a lot of Kylos will just well, for me, there's a lot of moderately well-trained citizens and militia. We have quite a few clerics and paladins from that side of what was previously the east side of Blackrock Landing, and then a lot of wizards and mages as well from the western side. They, of course, all cohabitating much better now. But wizards and clerics and paladins, and I guess like a large militia of moderately trained people, but rather, I mean, it's to save the world, right? I'm sure many will rally to the call.
That sounds good. That should be probably part of our second wave.
Okay.
After the Titans.
All right. Where would you like us to be? To head? We can use a teleportation circle and start setting up camp somewhere to be ready to go. Probably take maybe 8 or 10 hours to move everyone, all the force to organize and move everyone through and start setting up camp. A day, probably. We can set up outside Gascony. Oh, okay.
Oh, if you can get the Gascony, well, do we know a safe place to teleport to in Gascony?
I think if they're going to be our second wave, they should go to Savoy. While the first wave goes to help the rebels completely free the city, and then the second wave can join us there to help us with the assault on Gascony.
Sure.
I like that. Yeah, like, okay. First wave being the big pushers, perhaps your mother and
us.
Others. Yeah.
Your mom.
Mm-hmm. I'm sure we have someone that's visited Gascony. Like I know that the teleportation circle there would not be safe, but someplace outside of that, I know I believe that some druids from the Enclave have spoken of some of their plans being near it in Calais, not close to, but Gascony, but only a few hours away. We can probably use them to guide us to where we need to go. We can teleport. We can, or yes, that's right. Oh, I forgot they can do that.
Really Aaron's like, that's right. Druids are cool.
Well, how far? I mean, not to get too far into the pardon the phrase, too far into the woods, but how far is Calais from Gascony?
Gascony is like the capital of Calais, so it's like the center.
Oh, okay,
of
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Mm-hmm. So if they can, that's interesting. They can open up a second front while we attack.
To organize everyone, get them all through the different means of teleportation, and then to reorganize them and set up camp. It was probably figure a day if we're on the move, and we can get a good night's rest and have a day ready to march on your order.
That's good. Maybe we could use the first day for the securing of Savoy. And then the second day is when we push everyone to Gascony.
Do you wish us to try and teleport somewhere north of Gascony, since oh my gosh, Savoy is south of it, so we can be coming at,
Yes, that's a great idea. Flanking them.
Okay. Just making
Flanking them
notes.
gives us advantage.
Yes.
Nice.
All 10,000. You 10,000 get advantage. You 2,000 get advantage.
Awesome.
You get advantage, and you get advantage.
Sterling Sam will kind of, nod and then look over at Ormia and Yaris. Right? And for the two of you, where would you want to travel with Kylo's forces and help lead them?
Ormia will kind of look around and Yaris, I think, would be good to go help Kaios. I kind of want to be on the first wave with my old group.
Very well.
And she'll look around at all of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Kaylin will definitely smile. I think that's a good idea.
I gotta rebuild her.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'll go with the Stormfall. The Stormfall adventurers. And Yaris, who is infinitely much better at planning and leading forces, will help with that mess.
Nice. Okay. She'll nod and again kind of look back at the Stormfall crew and then over at Tara. Aunt Adieu. I think Tara is gonna say right, well, I think that there's a lot of information that I can assist you with, and gather and disseminate and such. I think I'd be of best use back in Metz, where I can coordinate that, get some answers that we're seeking, kind of look over at Emil, and I think that's the best bet for me.
PM question. I'm pretty sure Tara can message Emil directly.
Yeah.
Is that true?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then any information can be relayed to the call. So.
Okay. So if no one has any counter argument for that, I'm just gonna have her on recon and meds. Runekeeper, of course, just speaks up next. I am in agreement that I should be perhaps the two of us, and he turns to Erwin's mom, can clear some of the forces out ahead. Take passes over the city, striking randomly and strategically.
Thank you.
Erwin will just grab her mom's hand and just kind of like squeeze it.
That's awesome. Okay. Let me move your mom up the list here. Okay. All right. Then it goes over to Sterling Sam looks at Ken and Lilith. Right? And the two of you. I guess Lilith. Jeez. Yes, well, I suppose that we should return briefly to assemble our forces and assemble the clans, assemble all of the warriors, and then we can be we prefer to be in the first wave, coordinating with the two of you. It looks at Runekeeper and Erwin's mom. And striking where is needed. We're good at culling the masses.
Yeah, that's good. Thank you, Lilith.
Yeah, the first opportunity that the Runekeeper and they present, you guys can start working your way to Gascony then. because it's going to take you a couple. Well, how long? 2 hours?
2
Or
to
at least
3
start.
hours. From
Yeah,
Savoy, you mean?
yeah, Savoy
Gascony.
to Gascony.
Yeah, they'll have
No,
to
no,
use
yeah,
that
yeah.
one.
No, we'll have to. It's probably better to have them wait until the second day, so we, move in unison with Yaris.
There we go.
And then help out at Savoy until we're ready to go.
Understood. It will take us likely half the day, perhaps a little more, to prepare and organize our forces and navigate them all through the portal into Savoy. We'll set up there and be ready.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so that'll be the second day attacks for 2 of them, but assisting Savoy in the meantime.
Right.
Okay, I think I don't think that this person did Morik respond the other week? Ed, Felix's friend? I can't recall.
Was I even here? I don't remember.
Oh, maybe not. Okay. I don't
Felix
feel
showed,
yeah.
Yeah,
Felix is
Felix
there.
showed.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know what? Galathor's next on the and Garrick's family. I couldn't remember if Galathor was going to be part of it. I think we were going to consider, like, I know Felix is in.
Right. We could pull in Galathor if you want.
Okay. And we'll
And
say
how many
so...
characters are you okay with playing?
I'm tired to the point where it doesn't matter anymore.
All of them.
Can they all converse with each other?
You thought creating new characters would be fun. Little did you know.
They would all get called in.
See, the trick is you can't retire them. You have to kill them. Then you don't
just
have to play
get
them
to
anymore.
die. Yeah.
We'll
What if they killed each other?
Battle Royale. They're the phylacteries. We'll say Galathor, came in a little bit late as the meeting was underway. Where best would you fit, Galathor? Where would you like to help? Do you wish to lead some of the paladins and clerics with Kylos? Or travel with your friends? It's not too late to change your mind if you don't.
No, I'm just hunting for his voice. Is what I'm trying to do.
Hey, like regal,
British accent.
British, yeah.
I just haven't done it in so long. If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to travel with my party as well.
Very well. Oops. Nice. Okay.
Shyly waves.
I'm here. Present. So Garrick's family is on the list, but I think we were going to consider that. Do you want them involved at all with their machinery and repairs and such? Or are they like...
Nah, I think that's a little too much.
Yeah.
Because you've kind of done their voices in the past, so that'd be kind of crazy.
Thank you.
There's a lot of them.
Awesome.
They have a family emergency. They couldn't make it.
Nice. Yes. All right. M's here. She's gonna go with you all. Oops. Travel with the group. Oh right, I forgot about that. Winifred currently is just trying to find the Baron with her daughters.
Mm-hmm.
And Brixibus, where would you like? Will you be with Abil and I gathering information and sending reports out and coordinating forces, or?
Dan, Mariah had to step away.
Oh.
But I think Emil will offer to bring Brixie with Emil to the information gathering.
Nice. With Emil. Felix, I won't make you go through another thing, but do you want to travel with the group? Or do you have different designs?
Let's keep Felix out of the main group, just because if there are too many PCs, it could get kind of hectic.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. All right. We'll have. I guess you can either go with Emil, or we can have you go with the with Kylos for the main
The
army.
Irish group. Yeah.
Yeah, Felix wouldn't be opposed to going with Kylos.
He's a king, a natural leader.
Nice. Yeah. All right. Kylos. Ira is doing the Titan Recon. Right. We're still waiting on Ren, so we'll have to see where he's gonna show up. I'm just gonna take. I'm gonna take Sir LaFleur off of LaFleur, if that's okay. Wixley will travel with Kylos, and I was really hoping that Beth was going to be here, but because we're out of time on this, well, the you're kind of all discussing. It's not quite as linear as this. You're going back and forth and having discussions, figuring out who's going to do what. These NPCs have their input, and everyone's sort of figuring this out as in the air, some 10 feet away from the table, these hot white sparks emerge, like almost like a oh my gosh, what do they call 4th of July? They have the sparklers.
The sparklers.
Yeah. Really bright, and as precision white, a strip of white hot light cuts into the space and warbles a little bit, and then kind of just feathers out and opens up as Astrid steps through, sword sheathing. Shink. She's cut through time and space with her sword set there, and steps in, and it kind of seals back up behind her. She looks, even more athletic and fit. She currently doesn't have the mug hanging off her antler, but you can fondly look at that place in her antlers. And again, she has the spidered tattoo of webs across her eyebrow with a white number 1 over the eyebrow, sort of shaved through the eyebrow. Roman numeral 1. Right, so I heard y'all needed a hand.
I mean, Caleb would run over and give her a hug. Give him a hug for sure.
Nice. As you stand up, Kaylin, to head over, whether it's gravity or otherwise, you realize how badly you have to pee. You've been drinking at this table. And with that, we'll take our bio break.
Yeah,
gravity, no. For anyone who doesn't know, we take like a 10-minute bio break. We're going to knock that out. But we'll have our BRB screen. Oh shit. Crap. We have our BRB screen up, but our audio will be hot. Lucky you. So you can chat with us if you want. All right, catch y'all in about 10 minutes. All right. Woo! Waka waka.
Yeah.
BRB. Where's he? Oh yeah.
Right, Warren. Then it depends what the weather is over the channel that day.
A big tea this time.
Wow, what is that? A quart?
I'm not sure. Yeah, it might be. Looks about right.
I know I got the big Bubba, which is 52 ounces. Oh, that would 32 would be a quart, right? Yeah, 64 would be a gallon, half gallon.
All the multiplication factors for converting the units.
Oh yeah, I
assuming
forgot all
that's-
about liters and yeah.
Yeah, engineering. I mean, we had to do them both, right? And it gets to a point where you're like, can I not just multiply by 10, please? It's just
Yeah.
so much easier than whatever the heck the Imperial is trying to do.
Yeah.
I just want to multiply by 10, please.
Yeah, who came up? You know, it's like who decided 8 ounces equals a cup?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna leave my stream up so I can listen so I don't fall behind. So, but my mind is just not in the right headspace to roleplay tonight.
Okay.
Yep, understood.
Everything's alright. It's just like
Okay.
it's just been a week.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need some more water. Some reason stuck in my head.
You an earworm?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm horrible with song names. But it is hard to say I'm sorry. It's hard for me to say I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Sounds like a an issue.
Yeah.
Chicago?
Who is that? Who is that?
Maybe
Hold on.
maybe it's
Chicago.
Chicago.
Chicago,
maybe
yeah.
maybe it should be more like it's too easy for me to say I'm sorry because I say sorry a lot.
Sorry seems to be the hardest word.
Is it?
I'm gonna say I'm sorry.
I did
After all.
Yeah, and it was Peter Cetera singing it. Okay.
Yes.
Makes sense. I figured it was him, but I wanted to look it up to be sure.
Yeah.
That's the sound Darius is making right now. I'm just kidding.
Wow. Wow.
He's dead in the water.
It's true. It's true.
And somewhere in the middle of the Sea of Calais is a
Kraken, yeah.
Kraken.
That was incredible. Oh my gosh. I was genuinely so nervous. I'm like, put this in here, we'll see. You know, there's some options, this and that. Well, things were not going well. Like rolls were high on the Kraken side. They were bad on the player. I was like, no, please don't turn into this. No. And where it's like, gone. Get out of here. Like, what?
Love it.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to look up the nuclear codes.
Yeah. Awesome. Nom, nom, nom. All right, well, I think we have our list, except Astrid. Where do y'all want Astrid?
Is it just Astrid?
Just Astrid, yeah.
You asking Felix?
Ooh, right.
Felix, where do you want Astrid?
Nice. A little over here, a little over there. You know what? I'll check with Beth. We'll just check with Beth this week and see where she wants Astrid. And yeah, she's got this collective thing she's a part of, but I'll tell her the specifics in case she wants to role play it out.
Dan, I'm just that I'm keeping the stream up so I know what's going on, but I'm not in the right mindset to role play tonight.
Okay. Oh yeah, sorry I called on you earlier. I feel bad. I didn't realize. I didn't see the chat. My bad.
I'm just letting you.
Thank you. Appreciate it. I'm glad to have you hanging out this night. All right. Well, I think with that, we'll say we're back in the room. Everyone sort of has their mission, except.
Oh, wait, were we live just now?
Well,
All right. I'm ready.
Should not have said that thing about Dan during the break. Sorry.
Damn it.
Nice. It's hard for Dan to say he's sorry. Awesome. So I think it's just come down. Sterling Sam will probably look at all of you and be like, right, well, I guess the only thing that's left is a lot of you. Where do you're heading to Savoy, but are you heading right way? And what's your timing?
I guess we should go. Did we get anyone to do any research for us?
Well, I think everyone's been assigned. Tara's doing some research, and I think for sure Emil and Sam are coordinating a lot of research.
Great.
And we have the two scientists or mages from Zambora looking up the rituals.
I mean, so we can sorry, this is me trying to remember. We can transportation circle to Savoy.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what we're going to do as a group?
Yep, I think so.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know if anybody else is going with us, like, for example, the Rune Keeper, because weren't the dragons going to go... Were they scouting? Were they scouting or fighting?
They're fighting in the first thing, but they seem to have other means of vamping to a better location.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't really see a point of why we wouldn't leave. I mean, maybe get a good night's rest in and then head out.
Yeah, where are we in the day?
Last you recall, geez, before you came here, it was morning time. So before you came to this plane removed from time, it was I think like 10:30 or something like that. I think it was in the morning you did the thing. Everything kind of went haywire. You had to walk for a bit. So I think it's like 10:30, 11 a.m. or was.
And I guess we could go and we don't really know what we're going to run into in Savoy, though, when we get there, right? So I think it might be wise to rest and then leave.
Agreed.
Do we want to rest and then leave tonight, or do we want to relax today, sleep tonight, and head out there in the morning in daylight?
I assume we want to head within the next hour or so.
Oh, you're not wanting to get any rest in?
Well, we slept last night. We haven't really done anything today if it's still morning.
Have any of us expended any spell slots or anything, Mart?
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, I don't think any of us did.
If that's the case, if none of us, need the rest, I think, maybe we just go now and find out what the situation is.
No, we're expecting Savoy to be, what, a pitched battle?
I think from what you heard, there's
a
lot
siege?
of lesser, like a siege of lesser undead. They've tried to blockade like the main entrances, but some have gotten in and through town. Is the last report that they had.
So hopefully reasonably safe, but not entirely safe.
That's the impression.
I guess we can go.
Now, is the plan that once we get the lay of the land, we can report to Emil via the mind link, or is there another?
I think.
How are we relaying information in general?
That's what Sterling Sam would have set up. Would have at least asked if you're all amenable to it.
Okay.
Yeah. So we'll, I guess, reconvene here in an hour and head out.
Agreed.
Okay. All right.
We're on the timeless plane, right? So I was gonna say Rowan would eat, but I don't think Rowan can eat in the timeless plane. So
as long as you don't let go of anything for longer than 5 seconds, yeah.
Yeah, maybe we won't do that. Okay.
Oh yeah, you can't stay here too long. natural body.
Which you've
You need to leave
seen.
where somebody needs to pee.
Can't be here. You gotta go someplace else.
Yeah, Kaylin would spend the next hour just kind of talking with people and catching up with those that hadn't left yet.
Okay. It's nice. It's rather touching, time to kind of get reacquainted with everyone, catch up on stories of quick versions of what everyone's been up to.
She would ask Kylos, do you know what we called Ren here and he hasn't showed up?
Yeah, he's still Ren. He again has sometimes when he's a little in a better headspace than others. He's probably just counting on me to get the information needed and head back. I mean, I'm when I go back, I'm gonna see him. He's there. He's been.
Okay. So he's okay.
Yeah.
Generally okay.
Yeah. He gets stuck in those spirals of sometimes with what he's done, but just try and help him, redirect him out to help him kind of see that he's doing the best he can. Can't change what he's done. Yeah, but if there's one thing he's eager for, it's to fight Yathaz. So
you're a good friend, Kylos. To Ren and to us.
Means a lot. That means a lot. I want to help out.
Okay. Yeah,
Anyone?
you just
Okay.
catch up with other people too. I don't really have anything in particular. I just wanted to ask about that. So.
Anyone have anything else they want to do over the next hour before reconvening?
Screw Finn in the library. Can I open up the librri?
That's
Can I open the library in this plane?
Well, I have to ask if you want to try. But you wouldn't know.
I mean, for crying out loud. So I mean, this is
you're in an extra
right because
plane.
he didn't come to the. We met him here, right?
Yeah.
We met him here. So yeah, no, absolutely. She would take like a half hour. And
can you roll a D100 as you try and open up the library?
Absolutely will, Dan. Absolutely will. Listen. Kaylin.
That's where the campaign ended.
As the
Not
city
with a bang, but a whimper.
Falls unto itself.
Yeah.
That's a 62.
Okay, well, thankfully my role has saved the universe. You begin casting it, and you start recalling if this isn't a different plane, but an extra dimensional pocket, opening up another extra dimensional pocket. Like haversacks and bags of holding. You really just don't open up one inside another or put one inside another. You're like, maybe I won't.
Kaylin looks really frustrated. And
so does Fennel.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah,
I mean, there's plenty of rooms here. It's a like
you just see Kaylin and Finn just like standing there, just like.
Nice. I mean, it's a whole city, for what it's worth. Any place with a door open, you can't move doors and stuff. But all these rooms that have like
everything's
open
frozen.
Doors.
But you said that like
so you can't close the door.
And you can't drop anything. You can't leave anything. So
you can't close
you gotta
anything.
be really careful.
Yeah.
Does it also? I mean, if
it's in contact with your body, you're good.
I feel like there were things that I'm worried about the schematics here.
As long as it's connected still to, like, if it's a part of a person, it's fine. And as long as it's in contact with a person. So,
Okay. All right. you know,
I don't know
whatever.
what kind of goodies
whatever.
you brought with you.
Just
As long as you're
that's
holding
not-
them, it's okay.
I don't want to. We keep things pretty PG here, so I'm gonna keep
Ah!
it PG.
Okay.
But no, Kaylin would. You know what? Yeah, Kaylin would probably like take Finhold to one of those rooms and like, yeah.
Neat. All right. Just since it might be the last time you see one another. I didn't
For
want
sure.
to-
For sure. Yeah.
Okay. You share lovely, however long out of that hour. And yeah. All right, everyone reconvenes. Ready to go. The Runekeeper in that hour, Mort has given you the sequence. And left. Most of the people have left to go pursue their things by the end of the hour. In fact, most, if not all, you find yourselves just you lot have returned here. You know where to go back into. Sterling Sam would have told you where and how to go back to the regular, prime material plane, back where you'll reappear at the top of where you left off in that cliff. Are you all ready to go back through to the prime?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
One by one, you go back towards that same spot where the city had cracked and began, half started falling. And I'm going to be able to find this. Oh, yeah, right there. So we say goodbye. I know the name tags aren't right, but that's just for our viewers quickly. We say goodbye to the city of Aidenset as our crew returns to the Prime. One by one, you step through, and you get that natural feeling of air, the warmth of the sun, the freshness to the breeze as it passes by. Sounds of birds actually in flight now. It's just puts in perspective how jarring or unsettling that Aidenset may have been. You're but a couple, whatever it is, I think it was like an hour and a half or something from the keep. Walk. You return to the keep. Do you have to use the teleportation circle there, or can you just go from here to a teleportation circle?
I can draw. I mean, if we're in the forest, I don't know if there's any place I can actually draw it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you can, dig out. It works, as long as it's relatively precise. Mm-hmm. But you can find a spot here if you want. All right. So you have with you all. Oh, sorry. Good more.
Yeah, let's do it. I'll sit down and scribe the circle in the ground.
Okay. Nice. Devanya will give you a hand since she knows it too. She'll just for effect, there.
Right.
Oh, I'll help. It's a little bit laborious in the in the grass out here. So you have with you, I think, Ormia. Is Galathor in this group? I should go back and look. Yeah. Okay. So
Galathor's in this group.
Nice. Galathor, Ormia, Emracina. And we'll see about
Astrid.
Thank you. Yeah. All right. You draw this out. You're all circles made. You're all kind of, looking at one another around the, standing around the circle, looking in at one another. Do you have anything before you, take this first big leap into the end game? Is there anything you all want to say to one another or do? Or are you just ready to bamf?
Here we go.
I'm ready to bamf.
Okay. Em gives an excited nod. She's back. She's ready. Blueberry. Oof.
See how many people there are. Mort's going to be like the guy on the paratrooper doorway. Go, go, go,
Ah,
go,
nice,
go, go.
One by
Let's
one.
go.
Yeah.
Oh, I got 6 seconds. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Awesome.
No dilly dally.
They all start going in at your command. Um, and you know, half a second after half a second, you all start following in one after another. As you arrive, the sounds of arcing energy and grinding gears, and putrid smells of manufactured materials burning assault your senses. Bright flashes fill the space. You've arrived in a spark shower town, bouncing off your shoulders before falling to the floor. Voices attempt to shout over the deafening noises as 3 robed individuals shout towards you from the edges of the sparks and fire, beckoning you with looks of shock, fear, and desperation to reach your ears painted on their faces. Come here! Another one's yelling. It's hard to hear over the sounds. Get out of there! And the third one, you're gonna get killed! Move! What do you want to do?
Run, get up, go.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
No. We're level 18. We walk slowly.
They're flying behind you. Nice.
Slow motion, yeah.
All right, so they're about 40, 45 feet away across whatever space this is you've come into. Some huge sprocket, maybe 8 feet tall, collapses on the floor, shattering the tile work, maybe a couple feet away from the leader of this of you all. As you navigate the space, hard to see with these again arcs of energy and sparks flying around. Flame dances up, escaped and catching a nice bout of oxygen to burn nearby, and you feel the heat on your cheeks as you're grabbed by these other individuals and like pulled through. There's a doorway behind them, some 10 feet. They're ushering you through. Go.
Yeah.
One by one, you push out of this room, leaving behind the huge grumbles of machine. There's more falls, tiles shattering, sparks flying. Some smoke burns at your nose and mouth and lungs and throats. You clear the space. You're ushered down the hallway. Everything's dark, very dimly lit with sparing torches down this narrow hallway. And these people are pushing one in front of you, leading the way. The other 2 are following up the rear. Go! Leaving behind the sounds and slowly ascending a spiral stairwell up 2 flights where you feel the cool breeze of the late spring air. Fresh air. You step outside. The individuals are checking each one of you, going by one at a time. There's an older human woman wearing some heavy plate, has a holy symbol prominently hung on an amulet on her chest. Looks to be maybe in her late 60s or so. Short, straight auburn hair, but dusty, and red eyes. She stands, fairly muscular person, maybe 5'4" or so. You're looks at Mort first. You're all right. Are you injured? Did you get injured? Do you need healing?
No, we're fine.
All
What
right.
happened? What's going on with the circle?
And she goes to the next person, and you're all right, Kaylin. You need healing?
No, I think I'm fine. Thank you.
Good. We're another bout of the undead came through. They've been taken out. But one of them, they started knocking things down in there and pulling things apart, and one thing turned disastrous after another in there. We don't know if it was planned yet, and goes over to Rowan. Are you your deity, Rowan, is Sunane? Or no? I'm trying to think of Rowan's. Rowan doesn't have a deity. Yeah, they do.
Yeah, I think it's Sune.
Okay. You see the holy symbol of Sunane on this human woman. She appreciates, of course, the beauty of Rowan. Do you need healing?
Wow.
No, we're okay. We've come to help. I don't think we need your help. Thank you.
Oh,
What can we do?
I think the other two kind of jog up next to her. Well, I'm so sorry. My name is Eleanor de Grey. And this is, and she gestures over to one of the other individuals. Male presenting orc, maybe mid-20s, really long, straight white hair and crisp blue eyes, a greenish skin. This is Kerbog, and kind of nods. He's pretty tall, 6'8", pretty beefy build. And this is Sir Dyer. And she gestures down to the third person, who's maybe late 40s, half elf, male presenting. Completely bald head, beautiful honeyed eyes. Stands a little on the shorter side, 4'11" or so, pretty, stocky. You're well. Yes, everyone's well. But the undead, we've barricaded the entrances and exits to the city. They're not gated or walled, of course. It's the void. It's not built for defense. And but they've been barricaded best we can. But there's other ways in and out of the city, and the undead have been popping up unwelcome, of course. All lesser undead, they seem. Mostly zombies down there, and zombies at the gates. The streets are fairly safe, mind you. If you're here to help, that would be wonderful. We'll see you to the leader of militia.
What would it take to lift the siege by nightfall?
Numbers, I would say.
1,000, 10,000?
I would say there's. I only know that the southwestern gate that's the only one we've been at so far, stationed. But there's 800 or 900 undead that throw themselves at the gates and climb over one another currently there. I think the leader of the militia might have a more accurate understanding of the situation here in Savoy.
But let's find him then.
Yes, of course. Gestures over to Eleanor. Please, this way then. Thank goodness. You all look very glad you're well. You look
I know.
very capable. Nice. And she'll navigate you through. Again, you do in fact see that the streets are pretty heavily patrolled by the militia. They all seem to be in coordinated groups of guard type people that can take a beating, fighters, and some sort of casters, whether they have an arcane focus or pouches of components. You can kind of easily spot them. You walk by the southwest area, and again, they didn't have gates. There's walls around most of the city, but they're just grand openings that are more for processions and such that come through Savoy here. This is Gascony being the cultural center for this entire quadrant, as far as they're concerned. And Savoy being like the pass-through to that. It has its own rich art scene and other things. Of course, some nasty stuff goes through here too. The underbelly of the city. You see a lot of large logs that have been buried and affixed to act as a giant fence, roped off together, and you can hear and see it battered by the zombie horde outside as you walk by. There are. Lenore speaks. There are some. A number of citizens left, of course. We had evacuated some before the zombies came from one of the other floors of the university and rushed the room. I'm so thankful that that was still working at all when you came through. That you weren't hurt.
You say they came from one of the floors in the university.
Yes, they've been popping up. We think maybe they're coming through parts of the sewers. We're not sure. But we have many patrols so that when they come up, we can act fast.
Is there a general that's organizing and directing the assault on the city? Can you tell, or is it just mindless numbers?
As far as I've seen from the southwestern gate, it's just numbers, nothing too strong. They seem fairly mindless, and held together barely by their own sinew. But I fear for what happens should I was in Gascony when first it was attacked. Many of us needed to fall back here to Savoy. The creatures there are terrible creatures of darkness, evil.
In Gascony.
Hope they stay there. I hope they're rid. Gascony's rid of them, but I hope they do not come here.
So you're saying that the creatures in Gascony are different than the creatures here?
Oh yes. And there's zombies there, sure. But the creatures there are just. I have high hopes that we'll clear Gascony at some point. We just need a much stronger.
We have some forces going to Gascony.
Oh, well, please, just this way. We're and turns down, another road and opens up a door to a building, and you can tell that the commander we lost, of course, our the captain of the guard was lost while initially setting up the defenses, but the vice captain remains. And you walk through a couple of rooms, and not in any of the exterior rooms. It's sort of the interior place room. It looks like it was an inn and tavern before. There's no exterior walls to this central room. It seems to be, again, sort of a mix. It was a tavern at one point, dining area, but now more of a conference room, a planning room, a war room almost. 5 or 6 individuals at the head of the table with sketched out maps of the city and X's and circles and arrows, and looking up in the center. Looks up. Mort, Cyrus.
Cyrus.
Oh, he, of course, recall he is the vice captain of the Savoy Guard. Oh, yeah, Mort, move. Comes over to embrace you with a hug. Oh, what are you doing here, friend? And,
we're here to. It's good to see you made it. We're here to help liberate Savoy and maybe use this as a jumping off point for an assault on Gascony.
Eleanor, I'm not a praying man, but thanks Sune. Thanks Sune for me in your next prayer. Oh, Mort. Oh,
if you can, try to keep that teleportation circle area clear. Will be more reinforcements hopefully arriving through there.
Oh, we have a team we're putting together for repairs. But did you arrive through that?
Yes.
Well, it's working then. It looks kind of at Eleanor and
just
the other two.
do what you can to keep it clear.
Yeah.
People will be arriving.
Then we need to shift priority. Yells back to the table to repairing the teleportation circle. Let me know what I can do to assist you. We're almost holding our own here. It's a bit dicey. I'm not gonna lie. But if Gascony is the goal. We can try and what do you need from us? There's no exit. We have to cut through the zombies. We can see what we can do.
We're hopefully 2 big reinforcements will be showing up any second, I hope. He sort of looks out the window to see if he sees anything flying in the skies yet.
Nice. Nothing yet.
Okay. But you are aware of the Titan heading for Gascony.
I'm sorry. What? A Titan. Figuratively, not literally.
Literally. Something that threatens the existence of this entire world is heading for ancient relics in Gascony. We are charged with a lot of other allies to preventing that and stopping that. And Savoy will be the jumping off point for intercepting this. So we are having some allies show up to help you secure Savoy. And once, hopefully, we can do that fairly efficiently and quickly.
All right.
And once that's done, we will use that to launch and head for Gascony and get you straightened out. And anything you can spare after we secure the city.
Of course. Of course.
It cannot reach Gascony.
Eleanor, I have another prayer for you. It's going to be a long one. I'll get you in a minute. All right. Sure. Okay. Center for the battle for Astralanor. Understood. Well, let me see what we can do. We'll get repairs going immediately. Do you need a safe place to rest this out? I can't guarantee a safe place in this city. They're like cockroaches. They pop up when you least expect them, often in the dark.
I'll look to Kaelin and Rowan. Do we want to engage and help them right now? Or do we want to wait for reinforcements?
I think that we should, at least we can start,
A lot of us can attack from a range, so.
Yeah.
If Mort will bring out his carpet and fire it up, jump on it. So,
Battle?
Southwest Gate.
Sounds fine. Yeah.
Let's mess them up.
Let's take some pressure off at least.
Oh, thank you. Oh, by the gods. All right. Well, we'll post haste make sure that this circle is repaired and secured.
Yes. Priority 1. Reinforcements will be coming through there.
All right. Well, we'll fare well out there.
Oh. Don't be alarmed if you see 3 other Titans come through here.
They're friends.
They're friends.
Oh, all right.
Earth Titans. 3 large Earth Titans will be coming through here.
Okay.
Their hope is to slow down the evil Titan.
Oh, well, that kind of, I mean, I know I shouldn't be saying it, but that sounds kind of cool.
It's going to be this entire battle will be for our future, and it's going to be rather large, to say the least.
And cool, I guess.
Yes.
Giant. All right. Well, yes. Please do your best, and we will do the same here. All right. Let's see. He goes back to the table and kind of snaps his fingers and starts getting people redirected towards securing and repairing the teleportation circle.
Yeah.
Right.
As I'm on the carpet, are there any flying undead, or is it mostly just mindless zombies attacking?
Strictly zombies, as you assess.
And I'll just turn to everyone. The skies are clear.
Good. No one wants flying zombies.
Yeah.
F
Not
that
again.
noise. F that noise.
All right. So, are you all heading to the southwestern gate? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, anybody who wants to attack in the
Mhm.
air, I mean, who can't fly, offer the carpet.
I'll just say that because their zombies are relatively easy to kill. There's quite a few.
Oh,
Of
yeah.
course, it's like 800
Yeah,
and change.
we'll just be cantripping the crap out of it.
Okay, nice. You'd probably get, a report. Someone would be sent out waving you down after like, an hour or so. And Cyrus would have sent a messenger to let you know repairs are going to be like 6-7 hours. So
Okay.
do what you can. There'll be food and rations prepared, when you're done, and whenever you need rest, whatever you need, they'll supply.
Is there a way? Is there a way we can help with the repairs to make it go a little bit faster?
Yeah, I'd say it only takes about 3 hours to like clear the southwestern gate of zombies. Like some of them kind of slowly go from another gate over, migrate towards this direction, but you're able to clear the mass of zombies at the southwestern gate after like 3 hours. And then certainly Aaronwin and Mort would be great for making repairs on that. They've put out the fires. They've, have replacement parts that they need from some of the wizards that are there. Devanya may help too. Does Garrick want to help? There's all these mechanical aspects to that would be like would need repair too. Not that Garrick has to.
Sure, yeah. Garrick was. I mean, he said it will only take 3 hours to repel the zombies. Garrick was thinking about jumping up on the wall and just picking them off from a distance, but he'll join in for the repairs.
Nice. Okay. After you get a good half an hour.
If there's mechanical repairs, or Mia will help with that as well.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Beautiful. I will talk with you, Dan, after the session.
Oh, nice.
If there's mechanical repairs, Rowan has absolutely no idea what that's about.
Oh, I love that. That's amazing. Okay. So you find yourselves, a lot of you that are working on that, you find yourselves in the room with a number of other like engineers and wizards sort of working on that. Do you have anything you want to discuss while you're in there? Or just want to get the work done?
Just get the work done, I think.
Yeah.
That's what we're here for.
All right. Well, you're probably going to relay anyway, so I'll just say it here. So, Emil, you've been busy trying to, do what you can to get this information. Now, you're a main part of this huge information web now. I would ask that just overall, go ahead and roll, if you have Emil's stats. If not, I can find them. An investigation check with advantage.
Just give me a second here.
Take your time.
Okay. Investigation.
Mm-hmm. And you can roll a second time if you want, because it's with advantage.
Sorry.
No problem.
Oh, yeah.
We'll do a 32 then.
Yeah.
Yes.
I forgot investigation was one. It makes sense for Emil, right?
Investigation is like Emil's ace skill. Actually,
incredible.
stealth is one higher, but basically, yeah.
Oh, nice. Beautiful.
Right, we forgot about stealth. I missed our rogue.
It's Emil. Yeah. That's awesome. All right, so your network, thanks to your careful guidance and such, working in tandem with Sterling Sam, has uncovered that the situation has shifted a little bit. There is, mind you, for any viewers that are here, there is a demi-plane, a plane removed from this one, that houses the staff of Bokob's staff, the very first staff of the Magi. And it's been placed here seeping all this incredible ley line and creating ley lines across the planet by Ao, the one known over deity. As a test, and Ythaz Buvar, the Demi-Lich, millennia old, meets most of the criteria, because Al's like, whatever, I need someone in this portfolio doing their thing. You pass the test, you line up with this portfolio, you're good. So it has been constructed in a way where it's not something you all can go get to first. So Emil, you've discovered that through research, all the research happening, a couple of things. Really, it's not about protecting Gascony or getting something or getting there first. It's about taking down Ythaz before he reaches this. Because he's done all the rituals, a lot of the things that Kaelin has recalled and otherwise line up with, thanks to the ritual researchers you've included, rituals for Ythaz to claim this. He's going to be able to go right through, and you all will be held off, and you won't be able to enter where he's going. So you've got to stop him before he reaches Gascony. You've also discovered that, let's see, what else did you find? That the Baron seems to be location has been determined, moving very rapidly. However, after a little bit of further research, you find that his position is moving along with the giant elemental, the Titan. So likely housed there.
Was on buddies, yeah.
Yeah. And all reports speak of, everything that you and Sterling Sam put together points to Ythaz being there within the Titan, within the tower, because that's the place to charge energy, to be protected. You've gotten a lot of feedback from the researchers and such. It seems to be a game of get to the Titan and stop Ythaz before he gets to Gascony. So I'll let you relay that in any way you want, and please feel free to ask for any details I can throw in there.
I want to do this because there's a few. Emil will start with the mind link with the party, and basically say, here's an update on what we understand Ythaz is doing. Once he gets to Gascony, his interactions with the demiplane, with the staff, we will probably not be able to stop him or even follow him. So as much as we do need to help Gascony, the real key is going to be to intercept the Titan before it gets to Gascony and somehow deal with Ythaz before he's able to get to Gascony and hide himself away on the demiplane and perhaps become a god. I will relay this to others, but do you have any specific requests or questions before I inform the wider intelligence network?
I think it makes sense.
Ythaz has done so many preparations for this ascension, for dealing with the staff of Bokhab, that we won't be able to follow him because we haven't done the preparations. So we need this to happen before Gascony.
You just hear Aaron Wynn go, wonderful. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
I suppose it's up to us to do the heavy lifting. So,
Emil, you also would have gotten a report back from I just can't think of her name, but the Aranyes that was scouting, because you sent her out there. She's done a preliminary report, kind of just confirmed the other things that the tower is like embedded within the Titan. The very top is exposed at the top of its head. But between you and Sterling Sam, you determine that, Mort may be able to use the Araness as some teleportation thing. Like they know her, so they could bamf right over to that. Like, you can coordinate with the Araness to have the Araness land, and then you can teleport towards people or things that you're familiar with if you have teleport.
I think Emil will send out a message just privately to Mort and say the Araness is on site, has confirmed the Titan's configuration is as we expect, and you may be able to contact the Araness and use her to teleport the party directly there when the time comes.
Okay, I'll look to the others. Shall we just say the second the Araness is there, we'll go?
Yeah.
All right, Emil. Have her relay to us when she is in position.
I think she's already in position. You may just need to contact her directly when you're actually ready to teleport. She's already on site where the Titan is scouting. You're able to send her a message?
Yes.
Wow.
One last time.
Nice.
Mort will cast sending.
Nice. Okay. Okay. She's
To the Araness.
receiving.
Remember, some of the other of us have sending too.
That's all right.
Oh, right. Oh, it's Ira. Ira's the name.
Arrived in Savoy. Understand need to kill Yathaz. Ready to teleport.
Oh. All right. No immediate response. But after a minute or so, you get one back. Landed in a safe spot atop near tower entrance. Will remain for 1 hour. So she's gonna chill there for an hour.
She'll be there for 1 hour.
Okay. Emil was also going to message the Rune Keeper because they're kind of flying out that way.
Yeah.
And would get a message to the Harpers relaying that's what's going on, and try and relay, like, the priority is trying to understand what we can do about getting into that tower. Maybe Aoife would be the person to talk to, but whatever it is, like, this is now the question we need to answer, is we need a frontal assault on the tower and the Titans, so please pass along any information
Okay.
that the Harpers or the university can give.
Nice. All right. I'm going to add then that within that next hour, your reports say that Orin and his sons will have engaged within that hour. The Titan. Hopefully impeding its progress.
Okay. I could definitely relay that to Mort straight away, because that can influence their timing of when they choose to go. They may choose to go when the distraction arrives.
Okay. Nice. So within like 40 minutes, up to 60 at the most.
I didn't mention to the party, but I would have mentioned that the Baron is there as well. I'll actually send a message, if I can, to Win, although she may have been the one that told me that that's where the Baron is.
Oh, she would. Yeah, she would have messaged.
I suspect she was, but if she didn't know, Emil would want her to know.
Nice. Beautiful. All right.
Danny sent you a message before we move on to the next phase.
Okay.
Just give me a yes or no if that works.
Yeah, that's fine. Mhm. Absolutely.
Cool, I'll do that real
Yes.
fast now.
Nice. Okay, so Mort, you know that it'll be at least 40 minutes. There are, I think, enough of this information network is set up now where things can be, they'll probably be relayed to Emil once the Orin and Sons have engaged. And then in which Emil, of course, will be able to let you know. But 40 minutes at the earliest, 55 or so at the latest.
Okay, so there'll be a window, right?
Mhm. Mhm. All right. Is there anything y'all want to do for the next, 45 minutes or so? Your last 45 minutes before climbing aboard the Titan of Death?
Erwin's gonna activate 3 of her runes, and then she's just gonna spend every moment she can with Galathor.
Oh,
If he's
nice.
okay with that.
Yeah. Awesome. Blueberry's just gonna, stress eat snacks, I think. Out of the
Actually,
cups.
or me, I had a couple of things.
Oh, okay.
She's going to go over to Mort, and she's going to give you a ring. She's going to say, here. This'll, hey, you used a few spells already. This'll help you. It's a spell refueling ring.
Nice.
So you can recover 1 expended spell slot as an action of 3rd level or lower.
Mm.
You can do that once per day.
Okay.
Let's see, she'll go over to who uses a shield?
Galathor?
Mm.
Althor, Rowan.
Is Rowan?
Oh, Rowan uses, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, who wants a magic shield? Legitimately, between Rowan and Galathor, who wants a magic shield?
Absolutely, I doubt you could give a better shield than what Rowan has.
Okay.
He's got the trash can lid.
Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, all right, Galathor, you get the repulsion shield. It's under the artificer thing. It's so you get a +1 AC, and you can use a reaction after being hit to push the attacker away. And that's oh, there was one more thing I wanted to do. No, I think that's it. I think that's it for her. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Excuse me.
All right. Mort's going to be like, I just need to take this opportunity real quick. The ring of mind shielding I wear has
yeah.
1 additional benefit, but I hope it doesn't come into play at all. If I die, my soul enters the ring. So please get the ring if I die. If all possible. If you can't revive me, at least I just,
At least your soul's there. That's nice.
At least my soul's in the ring.
Right. Okay,
Mhm.
good. That's good to know. That's good to know. By the way, this spell refueling ring does require attunement. And so does the shield.
So we'll spend 40 minutes attuning.
Yeah, I mean, we have enough time for
Yeah.
a short rest. Right, so.
Nice. Okay.
And I'll turn to Cirrus and say, sorry, we have to leave you.
Okay. But the forces are still coming?
As far as we know, yes.
Okay.
We have to confront him directly.
No, Mort.
It's up to you to save Savoy. We're off to save the world.
He just kind of reaches in to, pat you over the shoulders. Mort, I'll do everything I can, Mort. I will. Get back here when you're done. Okay, we'll toast to this.
Oh, please save all the wine and ale you can.
I will. Be safe. Reluctantly, steps away, letting his best friend out into this super dangerous battle.
We're off to save the world, our world of Astrolonors.
Nice. Okay, let's see. I'm just very slowly, I guess, doing this. Nice and bleed. Awesome. Okay, I'm so sorry. I'm doing quick multitasking here, but you know, you're here in the city, and you've eliminated most of the hazards by that southwestern gate. There's a morale boost. Seeing the incredible, you know, force that you all are, picking off with cantrips, zombie, cleaning up the entire gate after a few hours. And Garrick, you know, out just sharp shooting, obliterating things with that big ass, you know, the crossbow, the heavy crossbow. There's a big morale boost. I really feel like, you know, we do, especially the people in leadership around Cyrus, knowing that they're in good hands. Cyrus, it's a bittersweet feeling, of course, having recently reconnected with you and seeing you leave into such a dangerous situation, but having hope and faith in you that you'll be able to, you and your friends will be able to, in fact, make this a thing, save the world. You, Emil, you get the message. Orin and Sons have engaged the Titan. Now, they're all calling the Titan Plush Tau now, because that's the Draconic for beginning. So they've just, you know, to easily identify what everyone's talking about. I'll type it in chat.
It's so much
Clash of the
fun
Titans
just
is on. The
guessing.
Clash of the Titans is on.
Claymation style. All right. So you, yeah, you in fact get the message, Morton.
All right, gather around.
Anybody else hearing the theme song from Pacific Rim?
Nice. Okay. More is, how does teleport work? Because it's not the circle, right? It's just teleport. You
It's
have
instantaneous. We all pretty much hold hands.
Oh, okay. Mort calls you all forth to hold one another.
Hmm.
And as people do.
Up to 10. So I guess, is Fenhold coming?
Yeah, he really wants to.
I like how you phrased that.
Yeah, unintentional. Sorry. I think that. Gosh, does anyone else have teleport? I don't think. Let me just check Devanya real quick. She has a circle, but I don't think she has. I don't think she can get a regular teleport.
I think we can. I think sorcerers can. I don't know if she does
Okay.
though.
Yeah, it looks like she didn't, unfortunately.
Aaron doesn't. I know that.
Is there anyone else that knows? Nope. Gosh, right? Because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people here, and then we have Ormia for 9, and Galathor for 10, and then Emercina. Oh, M. What was M?
And was the ranger, wasn't she?
Druid?
Yeah. But she's a cat. Oh, right. We'll say. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say then that Astrid is, because I don't want to have a small hiccup like that. You know, messing up. Astrid came with you, at least this part. Whether she continues on with you or goes elsewhere to help is what we'll ask her. But she, you know, says, you know, I can bring up to 6 with me. Don't know that I can stay, but I can drop them off. I should cover everyone. But if you go first, I'm familiar with you.
Okay.
All
You
right.
go.
Right. And much like human beings do in big moments of triumph or nervousness, or you hold hands. Clasp hands.
I don't know what's
I
coming.
didn't know where that was going.
Yeah, same here.
We go right back to the bathroom break is where we
Yeah,
were
I was
going.
like, is
Yeah,
that-
I thought it was another
They
bathroom break.
shit themselves. Yeah.
I honestly thought he was gonna skip a few bases there.
There's one night left on Earth.
Ah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, the plane's going to crash. Let's.
Yeah. So you all hold hands and bamf into what feels like just another place on the planet. It doesn't even it's so massive that you're not peering off an edge. It's just this rocky, stony landscape every direction you look. Mounds of dirt and slate, pitch off into, angular off towards the sky. Shortly after, Astrid cuts open space quickly before the Titan takes another step and drops everyone else off. You all look about, and you again are on this stony landscape. The only way you know you're not just on the surface is that there's mist, there's clouds that are pushing by as the Titan walks, towering through the sky. You see the air nest nearby. She stands up, Ira. Oh, right. You made it. Good. I'm relieved. There was some movement earlier. I thought I was spotted, but nothing came of it. So be cautious. I have fulfilled my bargain. Got it. I just over here, around, and she points maybe 100 feet away, describing a jutting of slate and stone. Just past that, take a sharp 90-degree right, and turn and walk for about 200 feet or so, and you'll come across the tower etched in a arching forward stone. It's almost like it's obscured a bit, except for looks like a balcony at the very top. It's my understanding it's the tower. I wish you all the best.
All right. Keelan will give a kind of a half bow. All right. Thank you.
Just a bow of respect back to you all. She turns and kind of walks down through the stone. A flame erupts around, the surface of the stone she's walking back into, to whatever. Right. All right, you have a little distance to walk to get to the entrance to the tower. Do you want to go or chat, or what would you like to do?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Okay. Together, you all hoist up your packs, your weapons at the ready, and begin marching. You walk 100 feet or so to this jutting stone. And sure enough, you turn right, and it's in the distance, a couple hundred feet, 200, 250 feet. But you see, barely nudging out of a stone face that towers up above it, the balcony of the tower that you're familiar with. Begin heading over. Excuse me. And just outside, the stone is a bit smoother, where it's still a little bit uneven. And then the balcony has sort of a dome in the center, and then the balcony extends beyond that, some 25 feet or so into the stone. It's encapsulated. As you get to the edge of that, so 25 feet or so away from that center dome, out from behind a pillar, walks a figure. The cocky stance, boots click on the smooth marble of the tower. Well, von Sutcliffe. I knew we'd meet again. I suppose you just can't get enough. I understand. It's a good place to die, though. Yeah.
Place as good as another.
What are you doing here?
Oh, looking to buy property.
Hmm.
A lovely view.
Rowan will continue to advance towards the Baron. Rowan's not interested in the conversation.
Well,
So how goes the secret keeping business these days?
he's, of course, watching Rowan as Rowan is now quickly approaching. We'll have to chat later. Snaps his finger and shifts into from the form of Baron uh, into 3 separate Barons standing about 40 feet apart from one another. Kind of splits himself into 2 different directions and stays standing in the middle. Draws his pistol, draws a saber. Some fresh blood on it, too. Ready to roll. And that's where we'll end tonight's session.
I thought you were going to say above the balcony was a sign. Warning, you're about to enter the final phase.
There's a lot of crates with health potions in them. And yeah.
Oh no.
The save point.
Health potions, mana potions.
Yeah, a floating crystal for the save point to our typewriter.
Amazing.
No, that was before we teleported to the.
Oh, that's fantastic. Woo! You all are, I mean, this is it, right? Yeah. Of course, you're still, in touch with Emil and the information network. Currently waiting information from Aoife about how to manage this tower and get to Ythaz and what to expect. So you're kind of like, we need this information. However, there are hangups happening right now, so she has yet to get that information to you, unfortunately.
It's okay, we've got time.
Everything's fine.
Here we go, guys! Dungeon crawl!
Fresh blood on his sword, huh?
Okay. Yeah, fresh blood on there. Yep. Oh, Baron's got all sorts of stuff going on. This is so exciting. Okay. So for anyone that's new here tonight, thank you. Thank you again for the raid. Our amazing friends at -1 charisma. So glad to have you all here. Hope your stream went well. Thank you for everyone else that's popped in and joined us tonight. And the other, I think we had another raid earlier as well. Thank you. Yeah, if you enjoyed the stream tonight, consider giving us the old follow here. We have a lot of content. I'll bring up our schedule here. Boatload of D&D content across the week. Every night of the week except for Thursday, and that 10 p.m. to 1 a.m. Eastern time slot, and twice on Saturday. We have the 6 to 9 on Saturday. I will leave it at that. We also have oh my gosh, I entirely lost my train of thought there. Boop.
Patreon?
Yes, a Patreon. But I'll even skip that for tonight. I'll just put it in chat. But you've been watching Stormfall, episode 170 of Stormfall. A little over 4 years of us playing together in the end game now. We're at the tower, the Omega Tower. If that didn't scream end game, I don't know what would.
It's literally in the name.
Yeah.
The Omega Tower.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, so catch us every Friday night here for Stormfall, and we hope to catch you all around. I hope you've had fun. Players, amazing. Y'all are, oh my gosh, you've done so much to get to this point, and it's so incredible to see this beautiful, intricate story you've woven. Like, put the final pieces together. No! Okay. With that, before I lose it, we're gonna read her ADHD or AD Adventures, ADH Adventures, and give them a call Mad Bird Raid if you would for some support and a little bit of branding. We'll catch you all soon. Have a great night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.